Alrighty, welcome to episode 5 of The Road Best Travelled, and I'm here with 3 pretty special people at the moment. But before we get into that, I just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, the 311 Collective, and all the other emergency services Instagram pages I mentioned before on the previous episode, on episode 4. Unmarked Photography, Code Red Band, You Perform, Darkloom Streetwear, Raptor Rants, all of you guys are doing incredible work and you show incredible support for The Road Best Travelled. So I'd love to give a shout out back to you guys on every single episode we start. So I'm here today. It's kind of strange being in a Barrel Broker's distillery. It smells very, very strong of alcohol in here. It's kind of ironic that we're talking about safe driving, but all in good faith here. We are with Safe Street. So I'm here with Sally, Alana, and Robbie. Tell us, Safe Streets, and first, welcome. Thank you for coming on board and talking to us about Safe Street. I'm sure that so many people are very intrigued about what on earth you guys do. Sally, what are we dealing with here with Safe Street? Tell us more about it.
Okay, so first of all, just want to say we are very excited to be on your podcast, Alex. We're massive fans. We love everything that you do. We thoroughly enjoy your Insta, and you always give us a laugh, but also clearly the important message that you put out there. In terms of why we started Safe Street, I'll pop you over to Robbie because this is Robbie's baby. We've just helped him bring it to life, but Robbie's I'll let you talk about his background and why he wanted to make it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thank you, Sally, and thanks, Alex. So Safe Street was an idea that I had a very long time ago, probably 10 years ago, when obviously I was a police officer. Sally and Alana are both police officers also. And about 10 years ago, I had this idea about an online reporting platform that was a bit of a deterrent for at-risk drivers and also rewarded good driving behaviour and sort of some sort of penalty for bad behaviour.
Yeah, okay.
Obviously, even at the time when I was a police officer, I realised that police can't be everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's not their fault. We would never bag on police. They are stretched so thin, they physically can't be everywhere at once. Yep. Right. So I thought, what could be some way that everyone could be a deterrer? You know, everyone could be some sort of enforcer.
Yep.
So I had the idea of Safe Street, but back then technology wasn't like it was. So I actually got a quote to start this platform 10 years ago, and it was like, $100,000.
Right. Okay.
So we put that on the back burner. And until about January this year, and I just had a dream, and literally a dream, and I woke up. This dream said, "Safe Street is a good idea. Do it." Yep. So we woke up, and I had the discussion with Alana that I want to do it again, and due to Sally having some really personable experience with road trauma and loss of life on the road, we wanted to get her involved.
Yeah, okay.
So now we've all come together and we've made this website and we're just working our hardest to get it out there.
So when it came to be the idea, so we'll go back to the initial stages of it. Mm-hmm. When you had this idea, what was that idea?
Yep.
What if it was in its bare bones stage, what was the idea that you first had?
Yes. So the idea that I first had was just an online reporting platform for people that have witnessed really horrible driving.
Okay.
Right? So the idea being, if people know that everyone has access to report this horrible driving, it's a deterrence.
Okay.
And, a pinch of prevention is better than a ton of cure.
Yep.
Right? So you see, the platform's very simple. You see someone driving in a dangerous, reckless manner. Yep. You go online and report the incident using a license plate, colour of the car, description of the driver, whatnot. One isolated incident is not really of any benefit to anyone, but if there's a pattern of behaviour for this vehicle, regardless of whether it's the same driver, then insurance companies can see that information and either heighten premiums,
Yep.
cancel the cover of that person. There's still real monetary
Yeah.
penalties for those people.
Yep.
But also, if just knowing that everyone out there's an enforcer can really curb the behaviour of these horrible drivers.
So anyone's got access to it.
It's an online platform for everyone. It costs nothing to sign up.
Yep.
It takes literally under a minute to create an account,
Yep.
and you can report everything that you've seen.
Okay.
Yep.
Geez, okay. That's just such a simple and fantastic idea. And I know that there are places around. Do you know if there's anywhere else around the world that have these, or anywhere in the country that have these sort of reporting platforms that you might have sort of brainstormed from or borrowed ideas from?
No.
Okay.
So we're the first ones to do. Obviously, there's always been Crime Stoppers.
Yeah.
But the idea being, and I just want to be really clear that at no time am I going to bash on the police.
Oh,
This is not what this is
yeah.
about. But as we know, Alex, you being a police officer, we being police officers,
Yeah.
over 90, I'm going to make up the statistics because I don't have them, but over 90% of reckless driving that gets called through to 000 is marked off as GOA or gone on arrival,
Yep.
never investigated.
Yep.
Nothing gets done,
Yep.
right? For good reason, because we're under-resourced and we can't do it all. So just knowing that if I call 000, nothing's probably going to happen immediately. What's the next step? Safe Street.
Yeah.
Safe Street is your next step.
Because unfortunately as well, like when people have asked me, and I'm sure they've asked you guys as well, what it comes to go, what do I do if I see this on the road?
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, they might think that the only option is to call 000 and to go call it in. But as we know how, say it's on a highway or something like that, you go, before the job even comes up or before there's even time on air for the job to come up, it's half an hour gone.
Yes.
It's not existent. It's sometimes exaggerated in terms of what is actually going on.
Yes.
Tell you a funny story though. There's only been one time in my career where I've actually found a car that was an erratic driver. John. There was one time where I went, there it is. But it was good where we sort of were able to, I guess, pull it over and sort of just go. There was nothing untoward about it, but the deterrent that gave, and we wish that there could be every single 000 job like Safe Street can be to actually have that accountability of people didn't like this on the road. People are actually watching as well because we're all part of it, and it's not dobbing, is it? Or
Well, look, it's a bit of dobbing,
Yeah.
but hey, everyone wants to be involved.
yeah, and
Right?
it's totally fair
Everyone
enough.
wants to be involved, and
as well.
everyone should be involved. When you're talking about, I was in the police force for 13 years, and look, Safe Street. The idea of Safe Street came after a really horrific incident that I went to in 2012, which I can talk a bit about later.
Yep.
But that's what bred the idea of this platform.
Yeah,
But I say to everyone still, the quickest way to end your life is in a vehicle.
Yeah.
There's no easier way,
Yeah.
right? There's no second chances. Cars are unforgiving, and if you operate this big piece of metal the wrong way, it's not going to end well.
No.
People know that. Most people have had some sort of experience with road trauma, and we want to reduce it to zero.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen. Unfortunately, we would love it to. It's not, but if we can get that down, so that's what Safe Street is about.
It's
We want
something.
to reduce it.
Yeah,
If we can save a life, 2 lives, 10 lives, that's what we want.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are a lot of people with the experience, but we're hopeful that it sort of just rallies this team of people that have the unfortunate experience with road trauma that can be, I guess, like the governing body of it all. Use their experience to go, no, cut it out. You don't want to join this team.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take it from here. We're trying to help you.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back to Sally about your experiences with road trauma.
Yes, sure. So I actually lost my dad to a car accident when I was 7 years old. And I think that, obviously that's extremely life-changing for me. My mum was widowed with 4 children. My sisters and I've got 3 sisters. We were really, really young when it happened, and just such a life-changing event that could have been totally preventable. the things surrounding it, without getting too much into the nitty gritty, it was like road signs weren't set up properly. All of these things were, later played out for my mum because it obviously, there was an investigation, etc., that went into it. And I think that for me, that's where my passion for road safety was born, that it just impacted mine and my family's lives so much. And also, the ripple effect too, like not just, my family, it was the person who was walking their dog that witnessed the accident, that went and, held my dad's hand until the ambulance got there. There's just and the emergency services as well that had to go to that scene. Like it's just such a huge ripple effect for everyone, and something that could have been prevented as well. Yeah. So that's really where my passion for it comes from. And I think that probably, that was a massive driver for me joining Victoria Police as well. Obviously, I'm no longer doing it anymore, but, I really was quite passionate about that type of, thing when I was in the job. But also as well, with the idea that Robbie had and me coming on board, I can't tell, like I'm a mum, I've got 2 young kids, and I can't tell you how many times I've either, seen an accident, seen some road rage, and you just don't feel comfortable to stop. Like it's not always realistic that you can stop and say to whoever's involved, oh, I actually captured that, here it is, because it's not safe, especially, when you've got 2 kids that you've got to leave in the car or, so I really like it from that point of view, that it's going to make witnesses feel really safe to do their part without, because, people think, well, what do I do with my footage?
Yeah.
If
I've
it's
got
not
this dash cam, and I sort of just go, well, should I use it?
Yeah.
And it was a good idea to get this dash cam, and I know the idea of why, but
yes.
Can sort of, there's going to be a lot of people who are not as comfortable as some to go, I'll help you with this.
Yep, exactly right. And also, and like Robbie said as well, we're extremely passionate about police. We love police. We think they're amazing, and this is absolutely no way, shape or form to say anything bad about VicPol, but when you are, like, I probably genuinely have the thought once, if not more per day, gosh, there's not a police officer around when you need them. And that's not to say anything bad about VicPol. That's just the reality. Police can't be everywhere. And we love police. We appreciate them. They do such an incredibly hard job. But we want this to eliminate, that thought process as well, that, well, yes, there is no police officer here able to help or that's, can do anything in this exact situation, but there's a platform that I can actually make a difference and can make change and, can upload the footage, report it, whatever that might be.
I want to go back to, I guess, there's the actual point of why we're here to talk about Safe Street, but for yourself, having experience with road trauma as well.
Yes.
How old are you now?
I'm 38.
So 31 years ago.
Yes.
So this is where, I guess, for every experience in every part of an episode, there's someone with a reason why.
Yes.
As a 7-year-old, only if you can, can you remember how it might have felt as a 7-year-old?
Oh, I absolutely can. I remember, the day like it was yesterday. I really do. I'm the second oldest in my family, and I remember that morning, and I remember waking up. I actually heard my grandma. She was on the phone in the kitchen, like, back in the day where you only had phones that were cords and no mobiles. And and I remember waking up, hearing my grandma on the phone to someone, just so distraught and so upset, and then waking up and laying there for a couple of minutes just thinking, gosh, what's going on? And I shared a room with one of my younger sisters at the time. And then I remember, my mum and my older sister coming in, my mum bringing in my baby sister, who she was only 3 at the time. And yeah, just pretty much telling us all that my dad had been in a terrible car accident the night before and that he died. And, you know, that moment will stay with me forever. And, you know, the ripple effect of that as well will,
through the years, if you can, I guess, remember the changes and things like that of the road trauma, you carrying road trauma, what sort of changes did you go through, I guess, as you grew up?
Well, obviously the big ones about it changed the entire course of my life, you know, not having my dad. And same with, you know, my mum and my sisters as well. Like I feel like that day that, you know, my dad died, there was like what we were like before that happened and then what we were like after it happened.
It's incredibly common, that sort of feeling of what the day was beforehand and what it was after. Yeah,
exactly. And that, you know, life was just never going to be the same. And my mum is, you know, absolutely incredible. She was widowed with 4 really young children and, you know, she gave us the absolute best life and, you know, she's just incredible, my mum. But it's very evident for, you know, particularly for her as well. Like there was definitely mum before that and mum after that. So, but it just sort of, you know, if anything, like I try and look at the positives as well. Like I think that especially being a police officer, when I did, you know, come into direct, you know, contact with jobs where there was, you know, fatals or, you know, not even fatals, just, you know, terrible accidents, etc. I feel like it shaped me as a person as well. You know, makes me better, you know, more understanding, more, you know, gosh, how do I put it? I guess more sympathy for the situation and connecting with the victims and the people on a more deeper level rather than someone who, you know, who hasn't experienced, you know, what we have.
Yeah, because, you know, for some people, I spoke with Janine yesterday and it's only just gone a year for losing her son. It's gone 5 years for me. It's gone days, weeks for some people, things like that. And 31 years, and you still remember the day.
Honestly, like it was yesterday.
Yeah, there'll be some people who will go, I don't remember anything of what it was like being a 7-year-old. I don't remember anything of being at primary school or I don't know. Yeah. But I guess that honestly goes to show that when it happens, sometimes not even an if, you will remember it.
Absolutely.
And you will remember, like you've said as well, what it was like beforehand and now what it's like after.
Yes.
When it came to this idea of Safe Street, do you, I guess, use your experiences as well to your advantage with Safe Street?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that there's no lack of passion or motivation, you know, to get the word out there and to make a difference, you know. And I know that same with Robbie and Alana as well, they've got, you know, their personal experiences with what they've seen, you know, through VicPol and outside of VicPol too. But I just think that when you have these, you know, personal drivers behind you, that's a recipe for you know, success, because no one's going to stop until we can make a real difference.
Yeah. So, okay, Safe Street. When it comes to, I guess, the day-to-day of Safe Street, what's it like? What do you sort of, I guess, the guys in the background? It's kind of like, I guess, you wonder how, I guess, you know, when you're a customer of an organisation, you wonder what goes on in the background and how this sort of works when it comes to, I guess, if I was to go on the website and make an account and punch in an incident, what happens? And what do you guys do?
Yeah, good question, Alex. we kept it as simple as we absolutely possibly could. You know, it's such a simple platform. Like I said, it takes under a minute to create an account, and you'll be reporting in a minute's time.
Yep.
It'll ask you a series of questions. So all you do is you just you follow the bouncing ball.
Yep.
It works both on mobile phone and on computer.
Yep.
Although obviously don't use your mobile phone while you're driving to report it. Pull
Obviously,
over or
the
or
irony
do it
of that
after.
would be pretty damning.
Yep, absolutely. But you know, try and remember a registration or get your dash cam footage, and you'll be writing a report within under a minute. Now you just follow the bouncing ball. It's you fill out your the details. It'll have registration, car colour, car model, car make, all those questions, and where the location of the incident, which will populate on a map that looks like Google Maps, so you can actually drag it and find your exact location if you don't know the specific address. And then just a quick narrative. And really, we want a quick narrative. It's just, it's not War and Peace. Yep. It's this vehicle did this at this time. What we've done, Alex, is there's a heat map, right? So when you're talking about dobbers and whatnot, I don't like to call them dobbers, but you know what? Everyone wants to be involved. Everyone loves spilling the tea these days, right? Everyone loves gossip.
We've always got an incident. There'll be an incident when I drive home from here today.
Yes.
Or when you drive home. There'll be something.
And everyone wants to tell people about it, right?
Yeah.
But also everyone likes to know what's going on
Yeah.
and keeping in touch with, especially their own area. We're really parochial, you know?
It's literally like reality TV.
Yeah, absolutely. So on the second page, after you've made your report, you can navigate to what's called the heat map.
Okay.
And it's literally just a map of Australia. And each incident that's been reported will show up as dots on there. You can click on that dot and it will tell you what's happened. So even like, you know, as far as if we're looking at changing suburbs and you're looking at moving into a street, well, I could look up how many hoon drivers are around that area, right? Whether I really want to do that or not, you know?
Because you think it's like my father-in-law would always say, before you go looking at a house, sit in the street for a little bit and see what goes on. Mm-hmm. If you got this up your sleeve,
exactly right. However, out of fairness for everyone involved, because there could be people maliciously reporting, what we make sure is, as our roles as admins of the page, is before we approve your report, so it will come through to our back end.
Yep.
We'll look at it and we'll review it. And we will actually remove any registration or names that get mentioned, if there's names. So by the time it appears on the website, all the person will see is White Holden did this.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
Out of fairness.
Yep.
Okay. So then no one's being implicated.
Yep.
No one can be identified.
Yep.
But the identifying features is held on the back end for the enforcers, for either the police force, which will be able to log on to our website and use all the available information.
Okay.
Insurance companies, TAC, you know, any of those governmental and enforcing agencies.
So you say that the police force can actually access this information.
This is why we're doing it, Alex. Yeah. So, you know, if people are reporting on our platform rather than Crime Stoppers, absolutely we want that available to police.
Yeah,
if there is something serious that needs to be followed up, we encourage it.
And it's something that can just be monitored as well, can just be looked at.
Absolutely.
And just sort of just go, okay, there's a trend here, or that checks out. That's all as it is.
Yep.
And you said there's financial advantage as well, or financial sort of...
Yep.
Because unfortunately, that sometimes can be the driver of, you know, like Vic Roads are doing now. Amy, the insurance company, is sort of basically, you know, your safe driver rewards and stuff like that. I've got you know, part of it and things like that. And it's really funny. You sort of go with Amy, you got it, and it tracks your driving. And I got 4 stars or something like that, just going to the cafe, and I was like, what? 4 stars. Yeah. But when it comes to the, I guess, advantage of with Safe Street, what gives people the incentive to do this, as well as obviously the obvious of keeping people safe? Yeah. What is it in it for
Great
others?
question. First and foremost, we want people to do it because they understand that they're making a difference. Yep. However, we've got a monetary incentive. So at the moment, currently, because we're in our infant stages, you have to remember, right? So we're not actually partnered with anyone. We haven't approached insurance companies yet or anyone like that, right? We need people to report before we have that availability to go to them and say, look, we really are making a difference, right? People are getting on board.
Yep.
But the idea is, once you report, we don't hold the footage, you hold the footage. We ask you to save it if you've got dash cam. And if that report is requested by an insurance company or police or anyone, and they request the media, then we will give you a monetary reward of between $50 and $100 for that media, depending on the incident and how serious it is. Okay. And that will be paid within 60 days of that being requested. Yep.
So basically, you can, out of safety's sake, you can pay for dinner.
Make a couple bucks, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's, like you said, you don't want to do it just because people are sort of, I don't know, vigilante justice and making money out of this sort of thing. There needs to be it's the first port of call is doing this to keep safe.
Of course, yeah.
So I guess when it comes to the future of Safe Street, so being in its infant stage, what's the plan for or the goals or any sort of roadmap that you've got of what's next and what's the ultimate goal for this, rather than obviously the obvious idea of it? Where do you want to see this, and where will you get to a point where you go, we are on a winner here? Yeah,
look, we want the platform to be as large as it possibly can, right? Wide spanning. What we want is we want everyone in Australia to know there's this platform that people are really using and it's making a difference, and I could be being watched right now.
Yes.
What sort of behaviour do I want to portray? Because I could end up there.
Yep.
And it could have real consequences for me. One, law enforcement know who I am and where I am.
Yep.
And there's a real way to be able to find me.
Yep.
Two, is my insurance premiums going to go up by $500 every year?
Yeah.
Right? And really simply, like I said to you, it doesn't matter who's driving that car. We don't insure people. Or the insurance companies don't insure people. They insure vehicles, right?
Yes, that's true.
So who's driving your car? Make a better decision about who you let drive your car, or else it's going to affect you, right? A real monetary penalty for you.
Yep.
So it's really just changing the idea and giving people something to think about and a reason to behave better. Yeah. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. The other thing is in regards to the heat map. There's also a reporting mechanism on safestreet.com.au where you can request for information. So if you're at a shopping centre and you come out and your car's been scratched, you can go on there and say, my car was in this car park at this time and it was scratched, if anyone has any information, right? If you've seen it, Alex, and you haven't got a pen and you can't write a note to them, you can go on there and click on, you can report it saying, I saw that, or you can click on their dot and say, I saw this, I've got the information.
That is beyond handy information to have, because that sort of, those little things can be so valuable. If someone dings your car in the car park, you can just go, hang on a minute, I've got an option here. I've got an option to see if there's any, I don't know, if anyone saw that, or if I could probably get footage, because then what happens with that effect there, someone's got footage, they go, yeah, I do. I got the rego. I can then take it to Safe Street, or I can take it to the police, and we're good. And I got this all because of Safe Street. It's not just, it's a safety database.
Yes, that's what it is. It's
because
a safety database.
Yeah, and I want to go back just over to Sally on, I guess, our driver behaviour. Someone, we've all been part of VicPol or anything like this, but I want to ask Sally as well, what, I guess, do you see as, what's the trend from Safe Street in terms of what you, if there is a growing trend, or if there's not, if there's any sort of things that have stood out for you when, I guess, monitoring this platform? What's been the standout for you?
I think the standout is definitely citizens are over mobile phone use.
Right.
I think that would you agree that that's definitely a trend? And I think as well, with the Safe Street platform, that when I've definitely had people come in to the watch house, to the police station and say, I witnessed some really extreme behaviour, and the driver of the vehicle was on their mobile phone. But you know what it's like.
Mm.
If there's no evidence, there's not really much to go on, is there? Whereas people are reporting a lot of incidents that include mobile phone, and I think that is a real motivator for civilians when when they witness some really bad driving, and then you look and see that people are on their mobile. So people are capturing that on their dash cam. So I definitely think that that's a big trend that's going on. People are really using their voice to speak out against mobile phone use, because as we know, that's so dangerous.
Yeah. And it's incredibly frustrating.
Yes.
You know, what you'd say to people, it's 2025.
Yes.
There should have been a massive problem with this in mobile phones' early stages, where you didn't have CarPlay, hands-free and things like that. But it's something that it's like not wearing your seatbelt. I'll never understand it.
No.
I'll never understand why you want to, or you feel that you have to.
Exactly.
We've seen, obviously, there'll be people who be checking emails on their phones, scrolling Facebook on their phones and things like that. And sometimes you sort of go, okay, so the urgency is outweighing the obsession. And
that's right.
Maybe that's the problem with it.
Exactly.
And I guess the next question I wanted to ask as well is, do you have a location trend?
Not so much at the moment. I mean, I guess we're in our very early stages.
Yep.
So it's sort of pretty scattered and spread out at the moment. I will say though that we have had a few like hoon driving, like drag racing, etc. On the colder freeway.
Okay.
So I guess that possible. I mean, if I had to, narrow it down, that would possibly be, the only sort of location thing that we're seeing. But as I said, it's not enough to, say, wow, there's a real issue in this location.
But that's the goal. That's
100%.
That's
the goal.
That is
100%
100%.
Absolutely the goal.
Yeah.
And also as well, people with dash cam footage too, they might not know that they witnessed an event until they get home as well. So, what Robbie was touching on before about, people in car parks. If someone hit your car in the car park and your dash, someone else's car, and you, for some reason, are, looking back through your dash cam footage and you capture it, well, the moment's gone. How are you supposed to, you can't get onto them.
Yep.
So, that's just, we really just want it to be a website for everything, really. Like, there's nothing that I, can think of that wouldn't be applicable to Safe Street that happens on the road.
And it's kind of like a bit of a, doesn't matter if it's, in depth or it can be surface level if that's all you've got. Yeah,
exactly. No matter how big or small, it's important. It's important to us, and it's important for the bigger picture.
Yep.
Whether that could be something so small could be reported that down the track we can link it to something, really big.
And moving on to a different sort of, not really anything different, but in terms of the people behind this, you guys, it's good to know what, I guess, is your main driver or main reason for this. I guess when it comes to your observations on the road.
Yes.
What's your personal opinion, what is the biggest problem that you find that needs to be rectified with driving in Victoria?
Mine would be, and this is driven by the fact that I'm a mum, and it's going back to the mobile phone thing. For me, that is the most dangerous thing happening on our roads, is that people being completely distracted by their mobile phones. It infuriates me when I'm driving with my children in the car, and I will see, and it's people of all ages as well. Like, it's not just a young person thing or an old person thing. Like, it's across the board of them being completely distracted. You can tell before you even see that they're on their mobile phone, and then when you get close enough, it just solidifies.
It's obvious.
Oh, yep, of course, they're on their mobile phone. Yep. So for me, that's my biggest issue. And I think that, when I speak to other mums at school or, my friends, that's definitely a big issue for them as well. And then obviously drink driving as well. We've seen the devastating effects that causes, and, just how your driving is just impacted so significantly if you are under the influence, and that, alcohol and drugs as well. So I think that is a major issue as well.
When it comes to, I guess, the topic of distraction, do you ever come into play with people, or I guess other parents at your school or anyone? Do you ever have, and we've all had, I've run into this as well, where people don't, I guess, see it as a big deal?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. And you can even, another thing as well that I'm really passionate about is, and I've had some run-ins. Sorry if they're listening.
This is what we're all about. All about calling
and shame.
Yep.
No, with some parents at school, our school, you have to, actually drive into the school, and there's a speed limit, and it's 10, and it just grinds my gears at parents that are flying through the car park I just think it is so obvious that you know where you are. You are in a school car park, and that doesn't stop you. No. Like, you still see outrageous driving in a school car park. And, sometimes it has been that bad that I, one time in particular was so angry at the stupidity that I witnessed that I had to get out of my car and have a conversation.
Because it feels dangerous.
I'm just so passionate about children as well. Like, yes. I just think these are kids, and you know what else really? Kids, they trust adults. They trust that adults are going to do the right thing.
Yes.
And then when adults don't do the right thing, when it is to do with children, it's another level of frustration. Well, it really is.
Children are in that category of vulnerable road users.
100%, and they need to. They're so vulnerable, and they need to be protected.
Even when you're at the age of 25, maybe you can be considered vulnerable because of your experience.
Yes.
When you're at primary school age, building blocks worth of. My daughter is 3. She only now just knows what red means and what green means.
Yes.
But when it comes to other things like, passing on the right, keeping left, if you're a slower driver, not being distracted, and so many other things, when there's just, and you're absolutely right, it's up to us as the road users to, I guess, look out for those who don't know it as well as us, or who are in a vulnerable position.
Absolutely. And the thing, Alex, is when we're talking about distraction, the reality is in 2025, we've never been more busy, more distracted, more in a hurry, right? The reality of this time period is that it's not just mobile phones anymore, right? I get a notification on my watch for everything, right? Now there's rings, there's touch button on your dash of your car, right? We're in a hurry because we're busy. I get it, but like, we've never been more distracted, right? So that's the trend that I'm seeing. It's just, I find myself saying to Alana all the time, I feel like people are just getting worse at driving.
Yep.
But it's probably not. It's just that they're so much more distracted now.
People wouldn't realise that they're getting worse. People wouldn't realise that they're getting worse at it because, like what we've said, the debate that's been going on for so long of licence-free testing, when something that you do every single day, and the last time you might have actually been tested on this was 1991. It's 2025. It's a long time ago to be actually assessed on something, whereas you might give with something that someone does with their workplace or anything like that, they have to be, I guess, re-examined or reassessed on whatever they do with their job. Why don't we have that for, everyday driving?
Yes.
Because driving is a skill.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I guess, an absolute right. It's a skill. And we've all got the obligation to be as best as we can for it. As we know, there are different skill levels and not everyone can be the same.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I have to agree that we don't realise how bad we're getting at it. And I guess from what I've observed over the last, few years with this, is that it's hard to understand why. And I want to ask you what, I asked Sally what the biggest gripe would be with road safety and road trauma. For you, if you had one wish for improving road safety, what would it be? If you could change one thing with how how the roads work, what would it be?
For me, it'd probably be just people being more courteous in general on the road, right? If you're not in so much of a hurry, if you're not driving risk-taking behaviour to get somewhere so fast, if you're not talking on your mobile phone, how does it really impact you? It doesn't impact you day to day, and that's what people need to understand, right? It doesn't cost anything to drive a little bit slower, to not merge so sharply, to not be on your mobile phone. But the cost of doing those things can be catastrophic. And if everyone just understands that a little bit more and realises that I need to be a bit more courteous, and being courteous is not putting other people first. It can be just your actions, right?
Yep.
I'm not going to behave in a manner that puts other people at risk. That's really what I would like to see.
Yep. What I observed, I was just, as people probably know, recently in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
What I noticed was the unsettling courtesy that I saw when it came to driving, and it was something that we drove to the airport in Kailua Kona, which is the big island of Hawaii, and I guess traffic's pretty. It's not great. There's a large population on that island, but when I got back, it was 11 o'clock at night. Got in the car on the Tullamarine Freeway, and it was nuts. And I was honestly, for the first time, I was looking around because we did a fair bit of driving in Hawaii. And it's not going to be the same as every other state and every other part of the world. But the commentary that people have had is that Australia, when you go somewhere else, you notice how bad it is. Have you had that experience before?
How bad we are here compared to the well, our family goes to Vietnam, right? You talk about a chaotic environment there, right? It's absolute chaos, but it works. Everyone gets along. They ride their bikes or drive their cars well. They're attentive, and there's not, you don't see accidents, right? And then you come here, and it's like I was going to bring up about, I've never understood road rage. How can something happen to you that gets you that enraged that you will get out of your car and physically fight someone?
A stranger.
Because they've merged in front of you. Or I don't understand that. Why are we holding on so tight to this?
Yeah, and we have. I feel that the one thing that I've noticed in Victoria, because I haven't really done obviously much driving around. I've probably done more driving in America than I have done in the rest of Australia. But we have this me first attitude. This me first. I'm getting here first, and I don't know why. No. And look, and road rage is getting worse. Like there is actually a lot of examples on Safe Street now. If you go to the heat map of road rage incidents, where there's, I saw one last month where it was a Yarra Trams truck with two workers inside it, and a male got out of his car with a pole, big metal pole, and started smashing up the truck, and then smashed the passenger side window and threw the pole at this Yarra Trams worker. Now, in regards to that, I'll never understand why. I'll never understand why.
Why? Yeah. But the good news story on that one is we actually got that report and then reported it to Yarra. So I actually called Yarra Trams myself. And Yarra Trams took the report and then I heard from a police officer at Yarra. So,
Right.
And that's what we can do.
And
That's
there
what
you
this
have it.
platform can do.
Yeah, that's the bottom line with this.
Mm.
And you sort of just go, okay. Do you get well, obviously you would, but the satisfaction of going, okay, this is working. This is actually doing its job.
Yeah.
And it's only up from here.
Yes.
In terms of, I guess, how big this can go, how many more people know about it. How do you get this out? How do you tell people about this?
Great question, because, the idea was keep it simple, and it is simple. To report on this platform, it will take you under a minute, right? And you can make a real difference, but people need to hear about it. How do we make people hear about it? Well, we do these sort of things, right? And now this is the next driver. It's the advertising, it's the awareness. We're here. It's not hard. It's so easy, and you can make such a difference. That's what we want people to understand.
Yep.
And we keep talking about Victoria because this is where we're from, and we worked in the Victoria Police for that many years. But this is Australia-wide. We have had reports from all states and territories now.
Yeah.
So some people have heard about it, but we want more people to hear about it. This applies to your state, your territory, your suburb. Jump on, make a report. The other thing we hear is, but I don't have dash cam footage.
Yeah, okay.
Right? You don't have to have dash cam footage, right? That's the lovely thing about this platform is someone can report a once-off, no big deal, but if we get multiple reports, right, of the same behaviour, well, it paints a pattern, right, regardless of whether there's media involved in that. And what we need to understand is when you're talking about a monetary penalty from insurance companies, they don't have the same level of standards of police forces. They don't have to have, right, reasonable grounds for upping your insurance. They're a private entity.
They can do it
if they've seen 10 reports. They can say, we think this is right. It's going up. Okay. Your premiums are going up.
And what weight does, I guess, when it comes to, people might sort of just be like, well, I know. On the contrary, they might be like, well, that's not true. That's not what happened. Do you ever have any of those situations where it's like, or that in the backs of your mind to go, oh, we might be just, I guess, being a soundboard for exaggeration, because like you said earlier, people might just like to really, we've heard it many times where it's it's like the noise complaint where it's definitely gunshots, and I know what gunshots sound like, where it's just fireworks or something like that, or where it's the people, they just don't like their neighbour, or they don't like this car because it's loud. Do you ever, I guess, do you have any contingency for that?
The idea is that between us, we have 40 years experience in policing, right? And every single report that comes through is checked and vetted by one of us, right? And going forward, if this grew, the people vetting would always be held to the same standard as us, right? A one-off report, like I said, can be very circumstantial, but where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yes.
If there's 5 from multiple locations, from multiple different reporters, and it's very easy these days to find out if someone is reporting, that's reporting is a real person, right? It's very true. Simple. There's so many platforms that you can find these people and see if they're a real person. But identity of reporters is really important. So, and I thank you for reminding me. So in regards to the monetary reward, before what we make it really clear when we're creating the account is please use your full legal name. Right. And before that you be given this reward, we'd require proof of ID so that we can verify that you are who you said you are, and that's the important
Not
thing.
Just burner accounts
real
and
people,
things like that.
Correct. Real people reporting real incidents.
And that wouldn't be hard to spot anyway. I mean, it's in the hands of 3 members, 3 people who have had this sort of stuff come before. Where, I guess across the span of your careers, you've had that many reports, and we've all had those sort of reports where we go, is this legit or not? And so that's, I guess, to put people at ease. It's sort of just like, okay, it's going to be actually checked with a fair bit of common sense here.
Oh, absolutely, it is. And the other thing that I want to reiterate is whether you're the reporter or the offender, no person using the platform is ever going to find out about your details on the platform.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah. Yep.
So even if you're the person doing the wrong thing, your details are not going to be advertised to the general public.
Yeah, cool.
Right?
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Yep.
We'll finish off. I'll just back over with Sally, and let's not forget Alana is still here. Okay, Alana. Alana is here. We'll
Alana's
as soon as
been the star of this
before we
podcast.
finish, we'll just get you to say thank you. Okay.
She has to do
We
something.
need to hear your voice. Just finally on this, coming from a career with VicPol into something like this, how, I guess, what's one word to describe, or any words to describe what this is to you now after being in or having 31 years of carrying and being in that ripple of road trauma? What does this mean to you?
What this means to me is, if I could explain it in just a few words, it would be probably passion, like I'm passionate about it, but also making a difference.
Yep.
And I think that, they're my core values of wanting to get out there and wanting to make a difference. And as Robbie was saying earlier as well, if we can save one life, then we've done our job.
Yep.
We just know how important road safety is and how it can just be diabolical, for the families involved. And if we can stop that for anyone, then, we've done our job, and that's really, really rewarding for us. That's why we're here.
And what would I get in terms of Safe Street, if there's one or two or three, the core values that you guys, I guess, the biggest reason as to why you do this? There's, I guess, if there's sort of, I don't know, words to describe, I don't know, what would they be?
Our core values are, honestly, our number one is keeping the community safe.
Yep.
That's definitely our driver, and that's, why we got into this 100%. Another core value for us is also holding people accountable.
Yep.
I think that that's a really, really big one, that we now have a platform where this can really make a big difference, and we have the potential to really hold these dangerous drivers accountable.
Yep.
And another core value of ours is, I guess, that we're, it's community safety. I guess that what we always come back to, and what the three of us are really on the same page about, is community safety.
Yeah.
Like that's our driver.
It's all
that's
of
our
us.
passion. It is.
Yeah.
And, just having our own experience as well. And if we can, stop a massive life-changing event happening to someone, then happy days.
Yeah. Awesome. It is as simple as safestreet.com.au. It takes
Correct.
less than a minute, as Robbie said, to create an account.
Yep. Super easy. And that's another important part as well, that we just wanted to make it. It's really easy. It's the easiest. If you jump on and have a look, it is such an easy process.
And don't feel bad about it either.
And don't feel bad about it. Get your Karen on.
Yeah. When it comes to, I guess, the sort of things that, when you preach to the choir, it's kind of just like, these are the reasons, but also need to make sure that, I don't know, that one hoon driver slips out, goes through a fence.
Yeah.
The knock-on effect then of a hoon driver doing that sort of stuff is, I don't know, my home insurance just lapsed and now I have to pay for this. Or
well, that's right.
Walking home from school, you're on you're on the phone in the school driveway, and you just, for that split second, you just, I don't know, lose your control. And that's what it's all about. And we don't want it to be just sort of, what for me with this sort of stuff is that we're all in this together. We're all on the same page.
Yes.
We need everyone to get on that page as well.
That's right.
Because
yes,
we've had enough.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's definitely the feedback that we certainly get from, in our circles, speaking to parents at school, friends, family, is that, people have had enough.
Yeah.
And like Robbie was saying, everyone is just there's more distractions than there've ever been before, and we're hoping that our intervention will make a big impact and bring change, because it needs to. Something's got to give.
Yeah. Robbie, if there's anything further you'd like to add?
No, I think Sally's pretty much summed it up perfectly. Community safety is absolutely a key, and we just want to empower people to know that they can, in less than a minute, they can really make a real difference.
Yeah.
Because the alternative is, when something catastrophic happens on the road, it affects so many people.
Yeah.
So you're not just helping one person. You could be helping hundreds.
Yeah, it's not just surface level or what something might be reported.
Yep.
There's thousands in the background there.
Mm.
Before we close, Alana, we need to make sure you're a real person.
Is she real?
This is Alana as well, who is the background of it too. Alana, welcome.
Thank you. Well, it's been nice to listen to these two speak.
Absolutely.
Hard to get a word in with both of them.
Everyone has their beautiful contributions, and I'll just ask you one question about it.
Yep.
What enjoyment do you get out of this as well with the team?
I guess if we can, as these guys have covered, if we can make a single difference to one person on the roads, then we've done our job.
Yeah.
As it's not just going to be the one person; it's going to be the people that witness it, the families, the friends, the emergency services. If we can just make one difference, then our job here's done. Yeah,
and that's such a common trend with anyone. But they say they say we can just make one difference. Then it's something. It's whether we'll never know if that life is saved. We'll never know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, no news is good news, I guess. So, guys, what you've got here in terms of, for me, if I could, I would say about what you guys do. The fact that, or what's comforting about this is that it is community orientated. It is something that people can actually be a part of, rather than feeling like, because it's daunting to have to maybe go and report to police. You might get that grumpy LSC on the phone who doesn't really want to have anything to do with this or anything like that. It's something that, and it feels from hearing how you've described it, is that you're so passionate about this and you want to include everyone in this and you want to make sure that everybody is heard with this, because I know of a few, like in the UK, they have this sort of system as well, and it works. It absolutely works. And so if there's something that can actually be, that can grow, and God, I hope one day that this distillery is a place where you can just come to and party. And this and you've been able to quit your day job and make this something that you that you seriously excel in, because we need it. We absolutely need it. And I'm not by any stretch of the imagination just saying that, because road trauma sucks, as you know, Sally, and what we've all seen in the job. It sucks. So if there's something we can do, rather than just pointing the finger at people and saying pull your head in, but in a way it proverbially is saying pull your head in, because people are watching.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks so much for episode 5. Safestreet.com.au. Don't drop the S in, nothing will come up. Safe Street, it's one street. Thanks so much again, guys, for absolutely everything for this. And God, I cannot wait to see how big this gets.
Thank you, Alex. I really appreciate it, mate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.